Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes. Welcome to the Center of Peace and our Sunday morning celebration. I'm so glad to see you all this morning, truly glad to see you all. My name is Twana Malone. I'm the senior minister here at the Center of Peace. My pronouns are she, her, and they. Let me not miss out on this opportunity as well to say welcome to those of us who are joining us from afar and online. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all. We do have a wonderful service in store this morning. We have our licensed professional practitioners assisting us in our service. Leading us in our meditation and the ringing of our chakra bowl is Cynthia Banks. Leading us in our treatment, our affirmative prayer this morning is Marilyn Watkins. Leading us in our selected readings this morning is Alima A. Boyd. Holding consciousness for us from afar is our practitioner, Patricia Watson. She is knowing the highest and the best about our time together, and it's unfolding in a wonderful and a magnificent way. Our music today is being sung forth through Rochelle Gaiman. Our greeter this morning is Callista Dorsey and Sheila Denikin. Yes. All right. We have Al, Vern, and Nicole on the ones and twos. I think we're all set and ready to go. So with that, let me just invite you all to take this moment and not miss out on it, to turn within, to bring your full awareness and your full attention into this moment and become so present. Cynthia?
Good morning. This meditation is going to be a guided meditation to remind us that we are one. So I invite you to, if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And as you inhale, know that that is the breath of life. And exhale. And know that it is a continuous flow. For each breath in and each breath out completes the circle of life. And as you let yourself relax, make note of any part of you that feels any tension. Give it some love and let it relax. And as you continue to breathe, feel the connectiveness of all life in that breath through you. Know that that is God, life, source, ever available, and you are one with it. Feel yourself just floating gently, gracefully, effortlessly. For we are contained in that love, in that power, in that source. We are connected and never alone. Imagine, if you will, a slender, shining cord that radiates from the top of your head and, like the rays of the sun, it goes back to a center, to one source. And imagine, if you will, that each of us has that same cord attaching us to that same source. And just as the rays of the sun are still part of the sun, each and every one of us is part of that one source. Feel the sense of security, the sense of well-being, the sense of joy to know that you are connected to all that is. That cord, like an umbilical cord, feeds you, supplies you with all that you need. It is a tether that cannot be broken. And you are always safe, for you are one with it. And just allow yourself to free float, knowing you are safe. For you are anchored to Source. You are anchored to God. feel the joy of knowing that all is all right already. That you are safe, secure, loved, adored, complete. Now, as you settle back into your seat, you can just remember, whenever you feel disconnected, that that is not possible. And just remember that feeling of connectiveness, of security that comes when we remember that we are one with all that is.
So grateful to be together with everyone here and everyone online at the center of peace. Coming here, announcing our unity with each other and our unity with the divine. And in this consciousness of gratitude of us being together, I recognize spirit. Recognizing that spirit is the source of every gift that we receive, the source of all of our blessings. Spirit is absolute and unchanging, the power that has no foe and no enemy. The presence that's everywhere, underlying everything in creation. The presence that pervades all in the visible and all in the invisible. And the intelligence, the mind that creates infinitely and infinitely expresses itself as all that there is. Recognizing spirit is that which has no beginning and that which has no end. Knowing in a deep way that each of us are one with spirit, that I am one with spirit, that each of us is one with spirit. And in that oneness, our life is the life of the Almighty. In that oneness, there, in that consciousness of our oneness, lies our power, lies our poise, lies our peace. And so I speak these words for myself, and I speak these words for everyone here. Yes, yes, as the meditation that Cynthia so beautifully spoke, we are one with God. No separation, no apartness, just one with God. And we stand in that place because that oneness is what has brought us here today. And I am knowing that as Reverend Tawana steps up, as the music is played, as the readings are read, as the smiles are given, as we look into each other's eyes, as the hugs are felt, all of this deepen our experience of our oneness. I know that everyone here and everyone listening will gain something that enriches them spiritually in a way that they've never been enriched before. Oh, I'm so grateful for this service. It is powerful. It is uplifting. It is inspiring. It is everything that each of us needs it to be at this moment in order to move forward and upward into our greater and greater yet to be. And so I am thankful for all those who give of themselves and all those who have given of themselves this day for this service to be the blessing that it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I release these words into the law, and so it is.
Thank you, Marilyn, for that wonderful treatment, and Cynthia for leading us in our meditation. Thank you. So I'd like to invite you all just to join with me at this time as we turn our attention to our vision and our mission, reminding ourselves while we're here. You can find the words to our vision to my right, behind me. Behind the chairs, there's some cards with QR codes. You can also download it there and read along with me. So our vision, a loving and peaceful world where all of humanity is honored as the divinity within is experienced. And our mission, the Center of Peace, is a loving, inclusive, and vibrant community that utilizes and demonstrates spiritual principles and practices to cultivate powerful individuals who together create peace throughout the world. And so it is. And now I would like to invite you all to stand and join us in the singing of our congregational song, I'm One. Our congregational song was written by our licensed retired practitioner, Bayless Webb. The lyrics to the song, you can find them in the back of your chairs if you do not know the lyrics to our congregational song, so that you may sing along with us. All right, Al, we're ready.
I'm one with Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and it dwells inside of me. This perfect Spirit, pure loving Spirit, rests in everything I see. God walks beside me, protects and guides me. It's ever with me wherever I go. I trust its power, God's healing power. Its love surrounds me, and this I know. I live in Spirit, I breathe in Spirit. It lives within me, and so Spirit, I think a spirit, its life is my life. I know God's life is my life. I know God's life is my life. I know.
So while we're still standing, let us take this opportunity to look into each other's eyes, to acknowledge the humanity in another, to welcome each other here this morning to our Sunday celebration, and only hugging if you ask. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You may be seated. So here at the Center of Peace, we are an open and affirming community. All are welcome here at the Center of Peace. And if this is your first time here at the Center of Peace, celebrating life with us and celebrating love with us, we'd love to be able to welcome you this morning. If you are inclined to stand. Okay, all right. Well, Center of Peace, why don't we just welcome each other this morning then? Allow ourselves just to allow love to flow from our heart through our hands as we say welcome, welcome, welcome. I still know who you are. Unique, divine, perfect in every way. As just the way it is. Welcome to the Center of Peace. Welcome to the Center of Peace. Yeah. All right, all right. I wanted to just take one quick moment as Liz is coming up to do the announcements. I wanted to just welcome Brother Arthur back into the space with us this morning. Long time member, and we are delighted and glad to see you. Welcome home. Oh, the first one? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, okay. So, announcements. Please, I beg of you, do not bring items that you are no longer using at your house and drop them off at that door right there with a note. Oh, yes, or in the back, bringing food that with a note that says, please take. Do not, again, I beg of you, do not bring your coats, do not bring your shoes, do not bring your hair dryers. If we are not having a drive or helping a local organization, please, please, please do not. Thank you. All right, so my next announcement, special Sunday service, July 28th. Me and Mrs. Janet McDonald will still working on it, bringing it together, but it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. The intention is for us to be in the quiet. In my mind's eye, I see it being similar to a Quaker kind of a service. When we are in prayer, there is music. We are in prayer, there is music. So put it on your calendar. If you have not and are on the fence about whether or not you'll be attending, please do plan on coming July 28th. All right.
Thank you, Reverend, for saying that. By the way, in Germantown, there are a lot of free pantries where you can drop off these items to the needy, so please utilize them. Next, we'll have Ayenda come up to speak about Beyond the Four Walls.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. Okay, so as you already know, we have beach days, Ocean City, in the middle of the week, Wednesdays, throughout the summer, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and I'm happy to say that our next one is this Wednesday coming up, and that's July the 17th. So who's going? Anyone going? Okay, all right, just a couple, all right. There's a lot of beach left for us, so come on out whenever, if you change your mind. And let me think. Oh, reviews. We want to hear from you. We want to know how much you love TCP. Please go to our Facebook page, go to Google, and we're also on Yelp. So far, been advertising this for about a month now, and so far we have 5. So come on, y'all. Show us some love, okay? And I am complete. Thank you.
All right, I think that's beverages. Please keep a lid on them. If you leave anything behind, you can find it in the Lost and Found, but try not to. You can get on our mailing list by downloading the QR code, which is also on the back of your chairs, or you can check out the website at thecenterofpeace.org. You can like us, follow us, and subscribe on all social media platforms. And as always, practitioners are available for service after prayer. And children and youth will not be meeting for the entire month of August. And I'm complete. Thank you.
All right, so this morning we have a couple of belief in actions. And what that is, it's an opportunity for the congregants to stand up before each other to share how the principles and practices are changing our lives, making the principles and practices practical so that we all can begin to see the application of the principles in our lives in real time. So this morning we have two people who are going to be sharing their belief in action, and if you would like to share your belief in action, you can get in touch with Callista Dorsey. She'll give you the rundown and tell you everything you need to know to be able to come up here and stand and do your belief in action. It's a very important piece of our Sunday celebration, so please do consider sharing with us how things are changing in your lives. All right, first I'm going to call Rochelle up, and then Jerry will come behind Rochelle.
Good morning, everyone. So, my belief in action is related to principle number 5, complete freedom from all discord. We believe that the goal of life is complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Some of you know it by heart, I see. So, and my belief in action is I cannot change the world, I can only change myself. Peace begins with me. The simple definition of discord, a lack of harmony as between persons, things, or ideas. So I wrote this song about 15 years ago that I was going to sing next, and I will sing next. But I was always afraid to release it to the public. I thought that it needed more work, it wasn't good enough, so fear and procrastination held me back. Right now, I have about 4 different versions of it, remixed and remixed. And then I realized it's good enough as it is now, and there's nothing to fear. The only thing that matters is what I feel about the song, and not to worry about what others think. So again, peace begins with me. It's been a long time coming, and now I'm available online everywhere. If you Google my name, Rochelle Gaiman, I Choose to Live, you'll find it. iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartMedia, Apple, whatever. It's a whole list. I finally released it. And I'm so proud of myself for doing so after all this time. Thank you. So I would like to thank everyone who contributed to the song, including especially my daughter, Yolanda, singing soprano background, and she has always encouraged me to go for it. My former singing group, Like Minds, who sang some of the lead vocals, a few lines, and also, of course, 2 TCP members who have always encouraged me. The first time I sang this song was at Wissahickon when I first joined the Center of Peace. And Reverend Sheila came to me and said, "You are open." And I never forget that. So I have been writing songs, and there are more songs to come soon. But again, relating to my belief in action, now I know that I have complete freedom from all discord. So look out for more songs to come soon. And Reverend Twana, feel free to play the version that's released online during service if you'd like to. Thank you.
So the spiritual principles that I chose: 4, we believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. And spiritual principle 7, we believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. And lastly, spiritual principle 8, we believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. So, I've had a lot of beliefs in action, but this last one sealed it for me. I usually check in on my body to see how I'm doing. And when I don't have to check in on it, it means I'm in fear, because my body's telling me, whoa, this is not good. You are not where you're supposed to be. And that fear usually comes from not being in control or thinking that I was in control in the first place. In this instance, the control was a feeling of, if I can't control this, I'm going to be embarrassed and people are going to think I'm not successful. So this is a work thing. We had a hole in our budget, a really big hole. And there was this constant external and internal voice saying, there's no way to fill it. There's no possible way you can fill this, unless you go through some really painful cutting of expenses. The other part of me was saying, you just need to keep balanced and know the truth. Just keep balanced and know the truth, the possibility and abundance. And I would be there, and then I'd wake up in the morning and I'd be a hot mess. I would be back into fear, and I could feel it in my body. Then I have a prayer partner, and every morning we'd pray, and then after we prayed, I'd feel really good. And then I'd go to work and I'd look at the financials and the spreadsheets, and it would all come back again. And then I would do affirmations. Appearances, not the truth. Everything always works out for me. This is not my life, but an experience in my life. And I would be settled. And then an external voice. You're not taking this seriously, what are you going to do? So I finally got to the point where I said, we need to start doing what we can control. And finally got to the place of saying, I've done all I can do. I have to let God let go. There's all possibility in spirit. And at that point, there was a point of just feeling peaceful. And knowing that I had been in this place maybe 6 years ago, and here I was 6 years in the future. So obviously, when I let go, things worked themselves out. 2 days later, a staff member came into my office with a plan for a new program we had been working on. And very, very, very conservative projections for revenue that would more than meet the whole. And if we pushed it a little more and said, maybe we can do not all of this, but half of this bigger projection, we would have a cushion that would carry us for the next 3 years. And as he spoke, I just stared at him. It was the funniest feeling. I was like, really? And all that came up for me was, all you had to do was let go. All you had to do was get out of the way. And so I just want to go back to the spiritual principles and repeat them. We believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. And lastly, we believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by the creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it.
So again, this is my original called I Choose to Live. I choose to live a spiritual life. I choose to live a purposeful life. One day at a time, I will rise high. I believe I have achieved a rebirth here on earth. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done. God's love heals everything, and love will set me free. I choose to live a spiritual life. I choose to live a purposeful life. One day at a time, I will rise high. All that I am and all that I will be is everything God put in me. Oh, yes, God did. So I'm gonna live my dreams. My purpose is the dream. God's love has set me free. I was lost and confused and afraid. I was so
Good morning, Center of Peace. That was absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to read the affirmation, and I invite each of you to stand and repeat with me, please. I choose faith over fear.
I choose faith over fear.
I hold fast to the feeling of utter joy and fulfillment.
I hold fast to the feeling of utter joy and fulfillment.
That comes when I accomplish something that used to terrify me.
That comes when I accomplish something that used to terrify me.
I prove to myself that I have a whole lot of faith when I take the leap and soar.
When I take the leap and soar.
And so it is.
And so it is.
You may be seated. Okay. Today's reading, as well as the affirmation, was submitted by licensed practitioner Barbara Jones. Today's reading is entitled Living Without Fear. Fear robs memories of happiness because it dwells upon the limitations and morbidities of the past. It robs the future of pleasurable and enthusiastic anticipation because it casts a shadow of its past into the future. It robs today of the possibility of fulfillment because it denies the good we might experience in the moment in which we live. How much better it would be if we could think as a child thinks, abandoning ourselves to the integrity of the miracle-working universe in which we live. If the warmth of the sun can melt an iceberg, why would it not follow that there must be something in us or operating through us that can dissolve any difficulty, remove any obstruction, or renew any human relationship that has been impaired? We should consciously practice having faith just as we would practice to become a musician. We should do mental exercises to build up our acceptance of good. The process is simple enough since it finally resolves itself into very simple affirmations of conviction, but there must be a persistency until finally old thought patterns melt and give way to new ones. Today, I cultivate the art of having faith. I affirm the reality of the divine presence in my life and deny everything that refutes it. As a child turns to its parents, so do I turn to that infinite presence whose creative law can do all things, and I accept the influx of all that makes for richer living. Because nothing is impossible to God, I believe that nothing is impossible to me through God's power in me. I am daring to believe in the greater good. I am forsaking all that has held me in bondage, and in uniting myself with faith, with expectation, and with the joy, I now live without fear. That is by Ernest Holm from the 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom. And so it is.
So this next song is called Open Your Eyes. It's the Vanessa Williams version. And I'd just like to, mention, to remind us that the spiritual realm is all around us, yet sometimes we are blind. As we open our eyes, we can see more clearly. Let the eyes of your heart be enlightened as we become more aware of God's presence. Okay. Change. Put a period in your life and make a fresh start. Exercise your mind and open up your hearts. Think of all the things that you may want to do. Throw out your old clothes that make you feel dreary and dress up in something new. Focus on the future and stop turning to look back. Pack your bags, board a train, travel on a different track. Don't be afraid to take the chance and make a different turn. Just imagine the days ahead and all the opportunities to learn. Step out in front and pick up the pace. Smooth the wrinkles in your brow, put a smile on your face. Never be afraid to love. Never be afraid to just be. Just cast away the chains of doubt. Have the courage to be free. Don't cloud your mind with others' lies. See only what you want to see. Just duplicate this simple truth and have the courage to be free. Open your eyes, you can fly. Open your eyes, you can fly. You can fly. You can fly. Never be afraid to love. No, 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 no. Never be afraid to just be. Cast away the chains of doubt. Have the courage to be free. So open your eyes. You can fly. Open your eyes. You can fly. You can fly. Open your eyes. Fly away. You can fly. You can fly. You can fly. How many of y'all believe that? You know what I mean by you can fly? Open your eyes. Come on, clap with me on this beat. Remember, you can't wait for others to applaud what you do. So congratulate yourself and start something new. Open your eyes, you can fly. Open your eyes, you can fly. You can fly, 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 fly. Yes, you can fly. Open your eyes, you can fly. Open your eyes. One more time. Open your eyes, you can fly. Open your eyes, you can fly. You can fly. I heard something different. Eyes, you can fly, fly away. You can fly, you can fly. Thank you.
Can we give Rochelle another round of applause? The music has been wonderful. Thank you. So first, let me just take an opportunity to thank everybody who stood in for me last week in my absence. The dynamic duo, Alima and Betty Boyd. and everybody behind scenes making sure that the place was open and closed and cleaned and ready to go so that we could come together and fellowship, be in community, welcome new people. I am eternally grateful, you know. A lot goes into making Sunday happen. Sometimes, you know, it might seem like, you know, when you get in here, everything is just smooth and easy, but a lot has had to take place in order for it to be that way. And a lot takes place before you move into our classes. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of time. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and creating workshops and being prepared to sit with somebody in counsel. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot that goes on in preparation and preparing to get up here and sing a song. So I'm just wanting to take a moment to acknowledge it as it is and to say, I am truly, truly grateful. So our theme for the month, a whole lot of faith. A whole lot of faith. And a few spiritual principles just to get us anchored this morning, which is also titled What We Believe by Ernest Holmes. You can get a copy of this by downloading the QR code, going to our website, and you'll have exactly what I have in front of you. We've added a little bit more wording to the principles as they are stated by Ernest Holmes. So this morning we are working with spiritual principle number 1. We believe in God, the living spirit, almighty one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. We believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. We do believe that the manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. Spiritual principle number 6, we believe in the unity of all life. We believe that everything is connected, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. Spiritual principle number 4, we believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. And finally, spiritual principle 11, we believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny. For we understand that the life of all is God. I have to share with you that I'm still coming to understand that as you minister and lead, that there still be firsts that happen for you. So I had a message prepared, and then things happened last night, and then I didn't have a message. So I think it's important, however, that we talk about things that's happening in this world and not bypass. Some of you might know, and some of you might not know, but like many of you, I heard the news last night as it was reported that the former president had an apparent assassination attempt on his life. Now, first of all, let me just say, violence is not the way. Let us be clear about that. So, in addition to that happening, and if this is your first time hearing about it, I do apologize. But in addition to that event and all of the other anxiety that these United States that we find ourselves in today, there is this Project 2025 that people are talking about, and everything that's aligned in it. There is the upcoming election, a few months, and there's 2 individuals, and everybody is shaking their head to both of them. So it's a whole lot going on. So before I could get the news on my own about what happened to the former President Trump, my neighbor called me. And I don't usually pick up the phone too much if it's a neighbor. But it was a whole lot going on. One neighbor was having a party, and the other neighbor who lost her husband, she called. And as soon as I picked up the phone, she said, "Did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? They shot him. Trump, they shot him." In my mind, I was like, "Shot him?" And then she said, "But they didn't kill him." And so she went on and on and on about how bad things are going to be, how bad things can be, and how things are going to be bad for black people, and it's going to be bad for, she just was gone. Clearly in a panic. Clearly she had panicked. But the times that are before us, they certainly do not call on us to panic. They don't call on us to panic. They call on us to prepare. They call on us to practice what we preach. They call on us to pray. Tell your neighbor, don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. I was reading a column by Reverend Dr. Jim Lockhart, who is a longtime minister in New Thought, and particularly Science of Mind, and he shared he has a blog, and in it he shared a quote from the New York Times writer Charles M. Blow. And here is the quote: "Panic lacks perspective." Panic lacks perspective. And see, it is upon me that it is always that we are looking at the macro, but these same words apply to our own life. Don't panic. Don't panic. Pray, practice, prepare, practice, pray, don't panic. So let us not panic. But the deal is that each of us have to know what it means in our own life so that we don't panic. For me, maybe it means a little bit less social media. It's too many people saying too many things. And I don't know who's telling the truth. Maybe we could find some reliable sources and begin to share with each other, one or two people that we feel are consistent in what they are reporting. Don't panic. Maybe we can just stay engaged in a way that feels right and comfortable for us. Maybe we can get involved to the degree that we are able to get involved. But don't panic. Don't panic. Our theme for the month, a whole lot of faith. Now let me just take a step back or two. As I said, I'm just kind of piecing things together because I had to throw away what I had and just be open to whatever Spirit is wanting us to discuss and to talk about today. So this is a conversation, and I need you all to converse with me. So there'll be an opportunity because I want to know what you're thinking about. I want us to begin to practice. I want us to prepare. I want us to move into whatever the moment is calling us to move into so that we don't panic. So that we don't panic. So our theme, a whole lot of faith. I want to bring this into the conversation then. I was going to start us off with a quote from the great poet Robert Browning. He once wrote, "Man's reach should exceed his grasp." Or what's heaven for? If we're not reaching for something that's not easily obtained, if we're only reaching for what's easily attained, then what is heaven for? What is life for? Everybody can get what's easily obtained, but that's not our lot. Those of us who profess to be living a spiritual life, choosing to live a spiritual life. So, Mr. Browning suggests that heaven is not found in what's easily obtained. And this is important for us, those of us who believe that heaven is within, and that our life can be a heavenly experience right here and right now on earth, and not in some far-off time and in some far-off place. The question is, what are you reaching for? What you can easily attain? What understanding, or what greater idea, what greater insight are you reaching for? If it's not beyond your grasp, if you don't already have it, then you're reaching for the wrong thing. You're reaching for the wrong thing. Are you reaching for what's easily obtained, or are you reaching for the heavenly life? Are you moved into and declaring and decreeing for yourself that every day I get a little bit better? Every day I do a little bit better? Every day I imagine something greater than my current conditions? Every day I'm open to changing my mind? What are you reaching for? If you're even reaching for something at all, it must be beyond what we currently are experiencing. I'm still talking about the same thing, these conditions that present themselves in our lives. We got to reach for something greater. We got to know something more than what is presented, what is being presented in our lives. Are we every day doing work to expand our consciousness? What are you reaching for? Are you settled with what you already know? Your idea that you have that God and I are one, the same idea that you had yesterday, is that enough? It's an infinite, infinite, infinite idea. What are you reaching for? In The Science of Mind 365, Ernest Holmes writes this in a reading titled, "I Prepare for That Which I Wish to Experience," on page 261. He says, "Realizing that all action starts with and is a result of consciousness, I prepare my mind to receive the best that life has to offer. Mentally, I associate myself with that which is good, beautiful, and happy. I am increasingly aware of the one presence, the one life, and the one spirit, which is God. Believing that it is the divine intention for everyone to live an abundant life, I consciously align myself with the outpouring of spirit, accepting that all things are possible to the one who has faith. I daily increase my expectancy. I broaden my vision to include the greater good for myself and others. I cultivate faith, keeping my consciousness open to an increasing awareness of my union with good." So, this gives us a clue then for what it is that we are reaching for. We're reaching for all. The one who has faith, a whole lot of faith, is reaching for all. Ernest Holmes says that each one of us has access, because we are one with God, right here, right now, immediately, in our own consciousness, all. We have available to us all. Don't panic. Don't panic. He goes on to say that when we understand our unity with God, that is the beginning of wisdom. And when we understand our conscious unity with God, we then begin to experience this infinite good. But we've got to have faith that the things that we are reaching for can be obtained, that the peace that you are reaching for can be obtained, that the joy that you are reaching for can be obtained, that the abundance that you are reaching for can be obtained. We've got to have faith. And in this teaching, we don't say that we have faith in God. We say we have the faith of God, otherwise translated as I have faith in myself. You got to have faith in yourself. We've got to have faith in ourselves, individually and collectively, to be present to whatever life is presenting to us. That we will circle back around and align with the one mind, the one power, the one presence, and not be so disturbed and deterred by what we see and what we hear. Don't panic. Practice. Don't panic. Prepare. Don't panic. Pray. See, the thing is that we used to say stuff like this, that my faith is being tested. But that's not true. In this teaching, we might say something more like, I'm testing my faith. Don't panic. I'm testing my faith. I am one with God, the ever-living power and presence almighty at the very center of my life. It leads me. It guides me. Never forsakes me. We test our own faith in this teaching. And it calls on us to be wise. And before I open it up for questions, I have one or two more points, but I want to share with you the reading from the teachings of Ptahhotep, the oldest book in the world. Kemet is where it comes from. In it, and in this book, it is ways of living. In it, it says this: the wise person feeds themselves with what endures, so that it is happy with that person on earth. The wise is known by his good actions. The heart of the wise matches his or her tongue, and his or her lips are straight when he or she speaks. The wise have eyes that are made to see and ears that are made to hear that will profit. The wise is known by their actions. Don't panic. The heart of the wise matches his or her tongue, and his or her lips are straight when he or she speaks. Now, listen, we've got to be able to make the distinction. Those of us who are choosing to live a spiritual life, we've got to be so discerning that when we do say that we are living consciously and intentionally, that we are living consciously and intentionally. There's a stark difference between living consciously and intentionally and just being positive and doing the right thing, doing what's right. Everybody can do what's right. Everybody knows the difference between good and bad. It's easily obtained. Everybody can speak positively. Everybody can say an affirmation, but everybody can't live a conscious and intentional life. And the moment is calling on us to live a conscious and intentional life. And if you think you are living a conscious and intentional life, your grasp, what you're reaching for, is not quite far enough. The difference between living a conscious and intentional life and simply speaking positively and doing right, the difference is night and day. Night and day. Don't panic. Equates to, are you living consciously and intentionally, or not? Because either you are or you're not. Either you are or you are not. See, living consciously and intentionally means that our inner living supersedes any outer experiences that we are having. When we are just simply speaking positively and kind of rote in what it is that we say and are being good, When you are living consciously and intentionally, you remember stuff. You don't go numb. You don't forget stuff. You're not scared to bring up stuff. But if you are just living positively or stating positive things and trying not to do bad things, being good, what's easily obtained by everybody, you'll be quick to not remember things. You'll be quick to press down and numb ourselves and numb yourself from feeling things. You'll be quick not to remember. Conscious and intentional living, you remember. You remember what it feels like. God and I are one. When you are living consciously and intentionally, you want to know about your words, the whys. You want to know if your words have affected someone so that you can get back into practice. Forgiving 70 times 70. None of us have reached it yet. Don't panic. Practice. Decide whether you are living consciously and intentionally or if you're just simply speaking positively and affirmatively and knowing right from wrong. This is our work. This is our work. Living consciously and intentionally is not easily attained. Trust me. Living consciously and intentionally means you're willing to tell the truth. If you just are speaking positive and can speak affirmations and know the difference between right and wrong, or you're apt not to tell the truth. Conscious and intentional living is as different as night and day if you're only speaking positive and know the difference between right and wrong and acting in it. Don't panic. Now is not the time, as I said a few weeks ago, for us to have skepticism, doubting. Now is not the time to doubt. Now is the time for us to pray. Now is not the time for us not to have faith. Now is the time for us to have a whole lot of faith. Don't panic. Don't panic. Let's see. What's on your mind? Okay. Anybody? Yes.
I would like to invite, so you talked about having to not panic and have things in context, right?
Yes.
And so, okay. You know, I'm a history major. I write social studies curriculum, so I'm always thinking about history. And one of the things that helps me to not panic is we've been here before, right? It's not new. Project 25 is, it's not even new. The Heritage Foundation has written things like this before, but I would like to invite anyone who's interested. The SNCC Legacy Project, they're doing a free test of a college course. So if you go to the SNCC Legacy Project's website, you can enroll. It is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, starting this week from 6 to 8, I believe, online, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for 3 weeks. And I invite us to look at that for context, because SNCC organized and went through all of this. Our ancestors have organized and went through all of this. So for context, we can look at the first iteration of Project 25 and why they at 25. Why didn't they implement it? How have they not been able to implement this extreme conservative vision that they've had in the past, that they keep rolling out, you know, every couple of years? How did we survive it? And I think the SNCC Legacy Project gives us a window into looking at what we've done before.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Listen, I really appreciate that, because we're here on purpose to support each other for times just like this. No other reason. No other reason. Anybody else sitting with something they'd like to share or struggling with? Don't know where it's sitting in you. Maybe you don't have resolve yet. Listen, you got me and a whole room of practitioners. I don't want you guys, like Jerry said, you get it right, and then next thing you know, you back to panic, you back to fear. It's the whole point of this. We want to fill each other up so that we can say to somebody else, don't panic. And here's why. Don't panic. Are you prepared? Don't panic. Have you prayed? It's us. And those of us who have the same collective consciousness as us, the world is waiting on us to show up. Yeah.
I would just like to concur with what Reverend T said, not to panic, but we also have a responsibility to know the facts and to know exactly what's going on. And if you don't know where to get the facts, maybe that's something that we can work on as a handout to get the facts and how it will affect you. And therefore you can make the decision that resonates with you, your personal life. Yes. And the other thing is, collectively, we're very powerful as a human race, everyone. And everyone has a choice and everyone has a right. But we must know the facts. And I think it's important, that this is a presidential election, but it begins way down here at your local level. So we can't wait to every 4 years to become involved. Yes. Your local representatives are the ones that move on and present the platform that goes higher to your state and to your national level. Know what your state representative is saying. Know what your city representative is saying, whether they are on your page or not. But know the facts, and don't just wait until a presidential election. And my other plea is, please register. Please register, and be sure your voting place is valid. It concurs with your street address. You know who's on your ticket. I don't want to get too political, but it is still important because it's intentional, and it's your faith.
Conscious and intentional.
And it's not just going what your neighbor says. What is resonating with you? What is intentional for your life and what you want as a community and as a country?
We can't separate politics from our spirituality. It's all connected. It's all connected.
Good morning, all. Rev, I just want to thank you for bringing this up. I sincerely do, from the bottom of my heart. A lot of times I'm not working from here, I'm working from here. Emotionally, when you began, I felt a whole lot of things whelming up inside of me. And I felt as though I was about to bawl out crying. And I know it's because I'm feeling a lot of the things that are going on in the world. I'm picking these things up, and I have to be mindful to know where to draw the line and what is my stuff and what is their stuff. You know, and I'm just glad that you said it's not just political. It's not what's going on just in politics. It's a lot of the things that are going on within the world and the lack of peace and the lack of love and things like that. And I'm feeling this very, very heavily. It's weighing on me, you know, and I'm just so glad that you brought that up. And I'm very emotional right now because a lot of these things are coming up. And a lot of times I don't know where they're coming from here. I have to work through that and process, but I do know what I'm feeling in here. And sometimes what I'm feeling in here can be so overwhelming, so heavy on me. And so all that to just say, I thank you for bringing this up. And I still am like, I want to do that. And I might go in the room with you in the back, Cynthia, so that I can do that, cry on your shoulders. But I do thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. So, you know, certainly let us remember our inner living. It supersedes anything out there. Peace ain't gone nowhere. Joy is still present and on the scene. Love is still very present. The infinite possibilities are still available to us all. Ernest Holmes says we have access to it all. The one who has faith, to the one who has faith. As one last person, then we'll wrap up. Or two, okay? We'll go Arthur, and then we'll go Rebecca.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here today because I remembered the Center of Peace at a time when I need compassion. And whether we all know it or not, we do need compassion. Yeah. And in most cases, compassion is misunderstood by the general public. But where there's love and a capacity for love, and believe me, what I've found in my years, and I have piled up a lot of years, passion requires that we have trust in our faith. And believe me, I do trust my faith. I read a lot of things that talk about all of the things we are interested in. So I want to thank you for being here for me at a time when I needed all of you. And I came in today because Patrick invited me in, not that he had to, but I needed encouragement to come out. So I say, trust your faith.
Yes.
They questioned Jesus one time when the subject was reincarnation. They asked Jesus, do you believe in reincarnation? And Jesus said, intuitively, and this is what the book says, intuitively, I do believe there is a life beyond this one.
Yes.
But we have to trust our faith. Thank you.
Thank you. I just feel I need to confess that I've been practicing panic, and therefore I'm good at it. And so therefore just find new places to do it. And what comes up for me is what would happen if I let it go, because somehow the panic and preparation might get mixed up together somehow. So what if I let go? What would that feel like? And am I allowed to feel that in the midst of everything else?
Well, that was,
And,
yeah.
okay, and I want to exceed, but I'm feeling like I'm going to take it a few minutes at a time, because to practice being intentional and giving up, to practice what I want instead of practicing what is around me, feels like a tall order.
Yeah.
And I'm not unwilling at all. I'm just saying those are some of the things that come up for me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. So in that same article that I quoted by Dr. Jim Lockard, he also shares this quote, and it's important for us. It's a quote by Pema Chardron, I think, from When Things Fall Apart. And it says, to stay with the shakedness, to stay with a broken heart, with a rumbling stomach, with a feeling of hopelessness, that is the path to true awakening. Sticking with that uncertainty, getting the knack of relaxing in the midst of chaos, learning not to panic. That is the spiritual path. Listen, we only can do what we can do. That is being conscious and intentional. You gotta reach. Is the invitation to reach a little bit greater. It didn't give parameters that it's got to be this, but to reach greater than our current conditions. You know, when my neighbor called and went straight to a panic, I said, hold on, I think you've called the wrong person. Let me go give you to Michelle so she can panic with you, because I'm not panicking. I said, Lisa, have you prayed? Where is your faith? Let me give you to Michelle. And they busted right on up. You see? Reach. Reach. Ours is not to run away from it, it's to move into it. The difference between living a conscious and intentional life is that you want to feel. Because you know eventually you get back to feeling good. You get back to feeling what it feels like to have the experience of knowing that God and I are one. Ever with me, will never forsake me. It's cosmic. The other is temporary. It's eternal. The other, sometimes it is, sometimes it ain't. Let's wrap up. I don't know what we're doing right here, right now, but come on, practitioners, let's. Let us come together now when we just are moved into prayer for our country, for this world, for each other and for ourselves. As far as we're concerned, there's only one. Everything is connected. We can never be separate and apart. Creed, color, race, sex, religion, nothing. There's one. One holy and high divine idea seeking expression through each and every one of us, all the same. And all that it is resides in me as I know that it resides in you. It's love, it's joy, it's peace, it's wisdom, it's intelligence, it's love, it's pure, it's infinite expression, it's love, it's joy, it's peace, it's calm, it's resolve, it's harmony, it's order, it's love resides in me and it resides in you. Let us act wisely. Let us call forth the wise within us to see it, to hear it, to feel it, to sense it, and to know it. And as we unify with it, I declare for you, as I declare for myself, don't panic. Prepare. I declare for you, as I declare for myself, don't panic. Practice. Get quiet, get still, become available to a high and holy idea, something greater than what you're currently grasping a hold of. Let it go and be open to something greater. Move into it. Be available to feeling good, to feeling the essence of God, to feeling the essence of life, to know and feel that something is corresponding and responding to our thought. Let us affirm and declare and decree from this moment on, we are living a conscious and intentional life. And as we do, the whole universe conspires to meet us in living consciously and intentionally. It's not easily attained, but we can do it. So I am just giving thanks then for this moment of pause, this moment of clarity, this moment of communication. I'm giving thanks for the song, for the love, for the reminders that we all are sharing with each other. I am so grateful that we're reminding each other not to panic. We've been here before. Our humanity is always inclined and connected to our divinity, and our divinity is always on display. We've been here before. Don't panic. I'm grateful for this community, that we get to do this, to be conscious and intentional about our time together. I'm grateful. Let us be so moved in into simply gathering the words that have been spoken and turning it over into the mighty law of mind that we know is corresponding and responding to our words now, acting upon it, causing it to be in our lives. So we let it be. We let it be. And we come together in agreement by saying, and so it is.
God doesn't forgive, for he is never condemned. Forgiveness is the great need of this world. It is a world of illusions. Fear condemns and love forgives. It undoes what fear is produced. Returning the mind to God. God is the love, God is the love, in which I forgive myself. God is the love, God is the love, in which I forgive myself. God is the love, God is the love, God is the love, in which I forgive. no fear is possible in the mind, beloved of God. There's no need to attack, 'cause love is forgiving me. Forgiveness is the means by which I will recognize my innocence. Oh, God is the love. God is the love.
And so it is. So it is. All right, so as our practitioners take their seat, I want to call our ushers forward as we prepare ourselves to move into a time of giving and sharing with the Center of Peace. I want to ask you to take out your tithes, your gifts, and your offerings and hold them close as we prepare ourselves to turn inward. But before we do that, let me just take a moment to acknowledge those who've already given, those who are giving now online, and those who've already given online. Let us bring it all into the storehouse. Let us take this moment then simply to turn within, allowing ourselves to settle in that place, in that quiet place and space of knowing truly we are one with that which is infinite and eternal, ever giving of itself, to itself, through itself, as itself. In it, then, I know that we can never outgive the giver. There's way too much love. There's way too much joy. There's way too much peace. There's way too much order and harmony. Never outgive the giver. There's way too much abundance. So let us give from that place and that space then with joy in our hearts, knowing that all that we give, that the center receives, that it moves us out in this world. Beacons and lights, willing to speak the truth and to tell the truth, willing to express and invite others to pray as we pray, to be moved as we are moved. So I know that as we are blessed by all that we receive, I know too that the giver is blessed 1,000,000 times fold. Truly, it can be no other way. So for every cent that we receive, I do give thanks. Truly, I do give thanks. And so it is.
When you receive, when you give, know that God is all there is. So who's giving what to whom? When we give, who's giving what to whom? When we receive, who's giving what to whom? When we give, know that God is all there is. So who's giving what to whom? Trusting in the law of circulation, knowing that it is as we believe. At the level of our faith, we release and make it so. At the level of our giving, we receive. Oh, when we give, who's giving what to whom? When we receive, who's giving what to whom? When we give, know that God is all there is. So who's giving what? Who's giving what? Who's giving what to whom?
And so it is. So it is. Thank you. Thank you, Rima.
The brain power you want is not in a bottle.
Okay, all right. I think that's our sign. Let us sing our closing song as the choir. Those who are leading us in the singing of our closing song come forward. I want to invite you to stand and join us in singing I Release. You can find the lyrics to the song in the back of your chair. I want to remind you, as members are coming forward to lead us in the singing of our closing song, that our practitioners are here. They have on the purple stoles and they stand ready to join you in prayer, knowing the truth with you, for you, and about you. I want you to know that when you go to be with a practitioner for prayer, that your conversation is held in confidence, that you can move in knowing that the words that you share are safe. All right, I think we're ready.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you're discouraged, wanting just to make it another day, you have got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit of my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I'm gonna see light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let it all go, let it all go. The Spirit from my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only
And so as we journey on throughout our week, let me remind you to remember, don't panic, prepare. Don't panic, practice. Don't panic, pray. And so it is.
joy. I wish you love, 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 love. I wish you faith in yourself to reveal all that you've come here to be. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I wish you strength. I wish you courage. Wish you love, 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 love. I wish you purpose to create all your dreams and co-conspire with the light of your life.